Welcome back to another modeling video. Today we'll be focusing on the Branchline engines in my series NVR Tales. The engines who run the Branchline in NVR Tales are named Nick and Dominic, as well as a spare engine named Ryan. These models have all had deviations over the years. Nick started out as a static Hornby Dublo N2. I always pictured Nick as a character who'd laugh things off and be able to stick up for himself, so I went for a larger tank engine. However, that model tired out, so I replaced it with a mainline N2. This model was modified to have a simpler design by taking away the handrails and some of the pipe work. He was originally spray painted forest green, but I recently repainted him to a very dark, almost black green. His buffer beam was heavily damaged, so I replaced it, and new 3D printed buffers were made especially for him. Nick also had a lamp added to his front, and his running board was painted white. He's one of my favorite models, however I do want to redo him as he's rather dark, but overall I'm very proud of my engine. When I came up with Nick and Dominic, I wanted a mentor and student dynamic, so I wanted Dominic to be a significantly smaller locomotive than Nick. I also wanted him to be an American design, so I chose a generic Doc Shunter 040 switcher. The original model I had a busted front and had to have a very crappy clay replacement for it. I replaced this model with a static one that fell apart during the filming of episode 8. I was so frustrated, I scrapped all the models and bought a fresh new one for $10 at a train show. I tuned up the motor to a spot where I am easily able to make it run. I painted Dominic into a nice mint green with silver outlines and nameplates. He was the first engine to get redone for Season 2, and I'm extremely proud of how he and the rest of the line really came out. I wanted Ryan to be a smaller engine so he'd be the same size as Dominic. I experimented with an American 060, but the model was an old design and I was on the verge of falling apart, so I decided to scrap it. At the same train show I bought Dominic's model, I found an 040 switcher in need of repair for $15, so I picked him up and fine-tuned his motor. I'm not 100% happy with how Ryan runs, but it does the job. I also removed the side rods because I thought it looked more unique. I painted the same blue as Cole and Charles, and with those two and Dominic, formed the first batch of newly done engines. It's no coincidence that these are the only 4 that have nameplates. That's the end of my custom model spotlight on the Branchline engines. I'll probably redo Nick in the future, but for now I'm happy with these little scamps. See y'all in the next one.